They see the change, the tone, but they couldn't handle that. Nope, they couldn't handle that. If they really knew the fact, yeah, they really don't know. To have a gift, it is a curse.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel where we discuss popular mainstream music. And today we're going to be talking about one of my faves, Normani, okay, Normani and her music and the music that's coming out and what I personally think about it. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed the little snippet of music in the beginning of this video, that is my single. Check it out, guys. Link is in the description box, and my music is on all music streaming platforms, including here on YouTube, so check it out. I'd really appreciate it. So getting back into Normani, okay, and today I want to talk about Normani in terms of her musical direction when it comes to genre, okay? So I know Normani has an album coming out, and she finally gave an official date, which will be sometime in October. Hopefully things go well, but I think this is a really big step for Normani to have an official date, so props to her. And I pray that everything goes well and that, you know, she's guided through the process. However, I've been thinking about Normani lately, and I've been hearing the snippets of her songs, like the song that she's been teasing, which I like already. I'm not gonna lie, like pretty much all of Normani's music that she puts out, I always like. Normani makes pretty good music for me. Like, I just never complain about her music. Like the harmonies, like she just really has a good sound and a really good ear. But what I've been noticing is that Normani isn't putting out pop music. It sounds like an R&B song, which is great. I love R&B. R&B is one of my top favorite genres. It's really pop and R&B. Those are my top favorite genres. I love R&B, and I need R&B. But I feel like one of the things that stood out to me with Normani was her pop music and her pop aesthetic in general. You know, I just go back to the Motivation days, and I feel like we're just not gonna ever have that anymore. I don't know, I can't say that, but I just feel like she doesn't do pop music anymore. You know, it's like, you know, we got Wild Side, which Wild Side I love, but Wild Side is like an up-tempo R&B song. Of R&B, but it's like, where's pop Normani? Is that ever gonna come back? I feel like she doesn't want to do pop music anymore. You know, she's talked about Motivation and how that song isn't necessarily her. Like, she doesn't feel that way. And concerning what Normani's been going through, it makes sense that she would vibe more with R&B, you know, the label struggles, you know, even personal issues, you know, with her family. So I could imagine that she is vibing more with soul music with more depth. But, damn, I miss pop Normani. I miss that part of her, and I felt like that was a very special void and position that needed to be filled. We have white pop girls. Okay, we got Sabrina Carpenter, we got Tate McRae. We don't have a lot of pop black girls. So Normani doing pop, like, that was a big deal because it wasn't just like, you know, a girl coming out dancing, but she was also doing it to like pop music. So it put her on that like pop star level, like the way I was thinking of. And again, all the colors, the up-tempo happy music, like she definitely has to have like some pop songs here and there, but like, I don't know. And when I mean pop, I mean real pop. Like, I'm talking about Motivation. Like, I'm not talking about like Fair, which is like pop R&B. I'm not talking about Wild Side, which is like up-tempo R&B, which sometimes people can mistake for pop. I'm talking about real pop, Motivation. She was giving me like Janet Jackson energy. You know, when you think of Janet Jackson, of course you have Velvet Rope, which is an amazing R&B album, but then you also have Janet Jackson's really huge as like All For You, Escapade, you know, Rhythm Nation, you know, all those like huge pop songs, you know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Normani's ever gonna go really back to pop? Do you miss her pop era where she was like doing all the colors, the dancing, the up-tempo songs, like, Or do you prefer R&B Normani? And this is another thing. I feel like Normani can do both. I'm not saying she needs to go strictly to pop. I actually look at her as a pop R&B artist. Like, I always saw that. Same thing with Janet, like a pop R&B artist. Like, Janet will give you your big pop songs and then she'll give you your R&B songs. But with Normani, I'm getting the vibe like she's going strictly R&B. It's giving that momentum where she's going strictly R&B. And I don't know, like, I miss pop Normani. So what do you guys think? Do you guys miss pop Normani? Do you guys prefer R&B Normani? Do you think she should do both? Do you think she's ever going to go back to pop? Let me know in the comment section below. And I'll talk to you guys later. Also, check out my music. Don't forget that.
All I need is running, so I've got to go.